What is that move, knight takes g2? Is that just too ambitious on my part?
Well, you'd be in a position where evaluation is -5. So you'd be 5 points up after knight g2.
Well, I'm glad I'm still got some tactics.
And it's possibly not the strongest move in the position. So imagine how good the position is.
Yeah, I mean, knight takes g2 is the one I've been looking at.
Knight takes g2 is a killer.
That
You're
looks like
absolutely
a
spot on.
powerhouse move. Boom! There it is on the board. Just as we were predicting it, it happened. That's a monster shot. You can look all you want to, but an explosion has gone off near that white king, and he's taking now back, of course, but the entire pincer action, as we mentioned, with the bishop on the d5 square hitting along that long diagonal. You can show that, and then the rook sitting on f8, lurking, being able to capture, and the rook on c8 hitting on the c2 square. That queen on d1 is fully overworked. It is now almost an embarrassment of riches about what to play, and the move
knight to h5. Everybody in for the king.
That looked good too, but he played knight h5, which I'm not even going to hate a brother for playing that move. That move looks fantastic. The knight on f3 is now straight hanging. He did play knight over to d4, as you mentioned, the only knight that can move there, defending his piece. For the moment, the question is, how does Firouzja now play this position? You would think his queen should appear. There's a knight f3, knight f4 check possibility as well.
Take on c2, maybe?
If he takes on c2, this would just be
he can take on c2
already a round one.
And take on f3 and go queen g5 using... There's still a pin, right? And you go queen g5. Once again, I'm making stuff up.
That is lovely. That is mating. That is not making stuff up. He has no move. Next move is mate. h3 is knight f4, and h1 is bishop takes on f3. I love that line. Love to see this transpire. Wherever you go, there's going to be a mate wherever their king goes. That would just be a special game to start off these championships. You wish you played this in classical, much less in a rapid game.
Absolutely. But something stops him from doing so. So there could be some hidden resource. And, you know, it's very easy to get excited sitting in a commentary booth. You kind of rooting for the most spectacular finishes. But when you're playing, you know, a point is the point. So and sometimes people say, you know, the winning endgame is enough. I do not see, by the way, the line to get to a winning endgame here.
Do you realize he sacked a knight? Then you want to sack an exchange on c2. Then you want to sack another exchange on f3. That is how you can finish off round one? Are you joking? That's got to be played. I mean, we don't want to see anything resembling endgame. That's out of the question. If he doesn't sack now, we're taking away his GM card. Like, just sack. Double rook sack, and I know he sees it. This guy sees tactics for breakfast. He wakes up out of his bed and he spots variations like that. He's probably just checking to see, should he capture on c2 or on f3, and boom, there it is. Rook takes on c2. Just what we wanted to see. Throw some gold coins at this man as he is. Now, by the way, it's not just a rook sack. It's threatening the bishop on b2 as well. So it's moves that are happening now with threats. And his next move we're anticipating after queen takes c2, which looks just about necessary. And a resignation. He didn't even give him the chance to sack on f3. Bro, come on. We wanted to see that finish. Why don't you show it once again for the fans?
Yeah,
Grandmasters, actually, maybe he ran out of time as I'm thinking about it. Maybe his clock ran out.
Yep, yeah.
Let's break down this exciting game at the key moment, right? So, Alireza Firouzja played Grandmaster with Black. First round in New York. He's trying to win the World Rapid. There's $45,000 for grabs for the first prize. So, they go in and he's trying to keep the game as complex as possible. We go on move 12, a4 played. Now he takes. And here, the first interesting move. Knight h5. The knight can come here and he's giving up a pawn for the play. So the game goes on. Now, how to bring the pressure? The queen is on d2, the knight is attacked, bishop h6, threatening to win with knight h3 checks. So of course, king h1, we have a grandmaster with the white pieces. Now the game goes on. Now, Alireza play d5 in the center, we exchange pieces, and now the queen here is under attack. So finally, queen d1, and this is a position the commentators were talking about, and in here black strikes. Now remember, that bishop here is super active, that bishop there is attacking here, that rook here is coming on c2, and you have two master pieces. Last but not least, Hikaru Nakamura would say we have here a fantastic wooden shield, a very powerful bishop in the center of the board. And now, tactics. Knight takes g2. So, what if you don't take the knight sack, right? You play rook c1, then knight h4 wins on the spot. Now, because the bishop on d5 is so strong, knight c3 comes to mind, and here you would simply take, knight h4. Once again, how do you defend that poor knight on f3? So, white takes, and Firouzja follows up with the best move confirmed by the computer, knight h5, coming to f4, but also look at that pressure on f3. So now white defends the knight on f3, and now this is fireworks. Move 24, and as we've seen in the video, rook takes c2, and white lost on time in the lost position. Now, what's happening here? If the queen takes, what do? We do actually queen g5, because the knight here is pinned by our bishop. And then, very easy, the king goes back, and now rook takes f3. Oh my goodness, if you take back, this is checkmate. So here, the only try will be queen c8 check, right? And here, rook f8 check. We're checking the king, and by moving the rook, we're attacking the queen. So over here, we win a queen for free. So rook takes c2, fantastic way to finish the game. If white were to defend the bishop on b2, how do we finish? Very easy. Take, check. And here, very easy, queen f5. The simplest, attacking that poor knight. And on king g2, what do? Check. And we win in style. Fantastic first game by Alireza Firouzja. We know that Hikaru Nakamura and Magnus Carlsen drew the first game, but Alireza with black struck in 24 moves in the Sicilian defense. And I see you in the next one.